Hey everyone, we're back again. I'm Minister James Moss, and we're in the book of Luke in our continuing education series. We are in chapter 23, and we're going to cover verses 26 through 31. And basically, I want to make sure that I always mark because it's so easy to go past it. All right, 26 through 31. And this one is entitled, Jesus is led away to be crucified. All right, so let's get on with the lesson. Severely beaten and worn out from the previous night's ordeal, Jesus could not carry his cross to the crest of Golgotha. So Simon was drafted to carry Jesus' cross. The image of Simon shouldering the cross graphically pictures what every follower of Christ should be willing to do, to take up his or her own cross daily to serve Christ. All right. So let us go to our scriptures and we'll come back. Okay. And as they led him away, they laid hold upon one Simon a Cyrenian coming out of the country, and on him they laid the cross that he might bear it after Jesus. And there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Jesus, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, Blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bear, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry? Wow. Okay, so verse 26. Jesus was led away from Pilate and out to the place where he would be executed. Condemned prisoners had to carry the crossbeam of their own cross on their shoulders through the streets of Jerusalem and to the execution site outside the city. Jesus started to carry his cross, but weakened from the beatings he had received, he was physically unable to carry it all the way. A man named Simon from the country of Cyrene was coming into the city. He may have been a Jew coming on a pilgrimage to the city for the Passover, or he may have been from Cyrene but resided in Palestine. Soldiers were free by law to coerce citizens at any time, so this stranger was forced to follow Jesus and carry his cross. Verses 27 and 28. Luke alone wrote of the Jewish women shedding tears for Jesus while he was being led through the streets to his execution. Not everyone wanted Jesus to die. Seeing him on his way to be executed caused many, especially women, along the way to mourn and wail for him. Jesus told them not to weep for him, but for themselves and for their children. He knew that in only about 40 years they would face great suffering and would then mourn, weep, and wail, for at that time Jerusalem and the temple would be destroyed by the Romans. This was Jesus' third lament for the city of Jerusalem. Verses 29 through 31. The days are coming indicates a key time in God's judgment about to unfold. While being childless was normally a curse, the coming days in Jerusalem would be so difficult that it would be considered a blessing not to have had children. Punishment would be so great that the people would want the mountain and hills to fall on them and kill them. Death would be preferred to the judgment that they would face and its accompanying misery. We also find that in Revelation too. The proverb about the green wood and dry wood is difficult to interpret. Some think it means that the innocent Jesus suffered at the hands of the Romans, that if the innocent Jesus suffered at the hand of the Romans, what would happen to the guilty Jews? The green wood is hard to burn, so if fire burns it up, what chance has dry wood? God would not spare the rebellious, hard-hearted Jewish nation from judgment. Thus, Jesus expressed his grief over the nation for the last time. All right, and that does it for Jesus is led away to be crucified. Something else that I want to add in, just from things that I've learned from doing these videos and studying, is that carrying the cross, or even the cross beam, one of the things is that, like I said, only Rome could, what's the word I'm looking for? Only Rome could exercise the death penalty. Okay, but having someone to carry the cross, because Roman citizens were not crucified. They crucified everybody else but Roman citizens. If a Roman citizen was given the death penalty, they were beheaded. So this crucifixion process, when they would carry the cross, meant that they were submitting themselves to the will and the power of Rome by carrying the cross. So not only was it that Jesus was exhausted from all that's been going on, the beatings and everything else, but it was God's plan that he do not become subject to Rome, to this this fact that existed during that time, that people who carried that cross or that burden were being subject to Rome. So it was in the will of God that somebody else carried this cross or this beam or whatever to the execution site, because my son is still not going to give in or be submitted to the authority on earth to no degree. Okay, so we know death couldn't stop him. So just a little FYI there about the cross itself is that by him not carrying the cross meant that it meant so much more, in the sense that he never submitted to the authority of Rome. He never submitted to the authority of any man-made kingdom. All right. So until next time, God bless you. God keep you. Continue to always keep studying, okay? Because it is very important, very vital that you do so.